stream, it don't matter what race or creed or color. You love this land and you're my brother. That ain't place to know your stand. If you say you can't breathe, I'll show you we can. Ain't never gonna stop believing. We were born for freedom. We're born for freedom.
All right. What's up, Ragers? What's up, Ragers? How y'all doing tonight? Just gonna jump right in. Hey, Queen Mata, long time no see. I'm happy you're here, sweetie. Happy you are here. Why this so close? Is my where's the depth of field is very close here. It's all right. You guys can see my pores. It's not something you want to see. Just ignore it. Anyhow, happy you're here. Let everyone know that we're on. I would love to have Mo come in. So I got an email today from someone who's a little bit famous. You may have seen him on Newsmax. He is a regular commentator on Newsmax, someone I met, like 2 years ago. He's going to be coming through Austin tomorrow, so I'm going to see if I can hang out with him. Total soldier, the real deal, has a podcast. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. But if I can connect with him, that would be awesome. Okay, so quick review. Part 4 of our Art of War series. Excuse me. I'm going to just dive right in and start reading because I still need to do another live stream on Instagram. If you are not following me on Instagram, I am at REDPILL TV1 on Instagram. That is my personal page. I'm trying to avoid politics and then kind of keep that on the psychological tip, talking about my therapy journey from grief, survivor's guilt, PTSD, borderline personality, dark borderline. I'm the good borderline. I don't hurt other people. I just hurt myself. Communication, neuro-linguistic programming, other stuff about personality disorders, all that fun stuff. All the fun stuff I like to talk about. So yeah, if you're not following me on Instagram, go get on the gram. If you're not following me on TikTok, I am at Jenny Redpill or Redpill TV on TikTok. We talked a lot. I mean, we've learned a lot. We've learned about how the Confucians, which are kind of like the ancient Chinese hipsters, hippies, peace pacifists, liberals, how they kind of fucked up China, and how China was at risk of invasion from surrounding barbarians. Sound familiar? Yeah. But the Confucians always wanted to keep the peace. They didn't want to make hard decisions. They let everybody into the country. They said, kumbaya, oh my Lord, kumbaya, kumbaya, all the other dumb shit. And the safety of China was compromised, just like the safety of America is compromised. And it's not just from foreign invaders. It's from the weak mentality, the media manipulation, all the other things that may have made Americans hate themselves and think that somehow we are bad for being free. Somehow we are bad for being successful. Somehow we are bad for living the life that, or at least offering the lifestyle that people from all over the world wish they could have. Hey, Jason. Yes, Thickums here. Thicky thick chick. Anyway, we are going to cover chapter 8, which is the 9 changes. Live streaming on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. And then after that, we are going to skip chapter 9, which is maneuvering the army. I wasn't sure how applicable that was. And then we are going to go into chapter 10, which is the configurations of terrain. So chapter 8, 9 changes. Sun Tzu said, in general, the strategy for employing the military is this. After the general has received his commands from the ruler, united the armies, and assembled the masses, do not encamp on entrapping terrain. Unite with your allies on focal terrain, focal meaning visual. Do not remain on isolated terrain. Make strategic plans for encircled terrain. On fatal terrain, you must do battle. There are roads that are not followed. There are armies that are not attacked. There are fortified cities that are not assaulted. There is terrain for which one does not contend. There are commands from the ruler that are not accepted. Thus, the general who has a penetrating understanding of the advantages of the 9 changes knows how to employ the army. One thing we talked a lot about last night was temperance, knowing how to kind of bob and weave and duck and kind of maneuver around the circumstances, whether it be weather, whether it be terrain, whether it be exhaustion, whether it be restfulness. One needs to understand the enemy like they understand themselves. Okay. In order to do that, you need to be able to see, you need to be able to observe. That's a big part of Eastern philosophy, is being able to observe the ebb and flow, the yin and yang of yourself and your enemy. Don't be trigger happy. Don't make moves on bad intel. That's something that we do as conservatives a lot. We make moves on bad intel. Not good. Know when your enemy is strong. Know when they're weak. Know when to attack. Know when to retreat. Know when to absorb them and turn them and make them double agents for yourself. And then know when they need to be put down. Know what you can steal or acquire for yourself, but also know when to destroy. These are things we don't understand in Western culture. Okay. So benefits of being a Buddhist for 10 years. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. If a general does not have a penetrating understanding of the advantages of the 9 changes, even though he is familiar with the topography, he will not be able to realize the advantages of the terrain. One who commands an army but does not know the techniques for the 9 changes, even though he is familiar with the 5 advantages, will not be able to control men. For this reason, what's up, Nate? How you doing? For this reason, the wise must contemplate the intermixture of gain and loss. Yin and yang. If they discern advantage in difficult situations, their efforts can be trusted. If they discern harm in prospective advantage, difficulties can be resolved. Accordingly, subjugate the feudal lords with potential harm, labor the feudal lords with numerous affairs, and have the feudal lords race after profits. Thus the strategy for employing the army. Do not rely on their not coming, but depend on us having the means to await them. Do not rely on their attacking, but depend on us having an unsaleable position. Thus, generals have 5 dangerous character traits. All right, y'all listen very closely. I highlighted this for a reason. 1 committed to dying can be slain. 1 committed to living can be captured. 1 easily angered and hasty to act can be insulted. 1 obsessed with being scrupulous and untainted can be shamed. What have I been saying for the last 2 years? We are trying so hard to have the moral superiority that we are full. We are weak. We are soft because of that. We know we know we're right. But trying so hard to prove how right and how virtuous you are is going to get you captured. It's going to get you captured. Doing the right thing, having a moral code that is so, let me put it this way, it puts you in a position where you're a fence rider. And that is the number one thing that I am seeing with conservatives. They're still riding the fucking fence. They're still riding the fence. They don't want to make a decision. They still want everyone to be included. I don't know what you mean there. I mean, can you be more specific? Because, yeah, can you just be more specific? Because I'm not sure what that means. Thank you, Jason. Politics, economics, education, entertainment, these are the terrain. Absolutely. 1 who loves the people can be troubled. Now, these 5 dangerous traits are excesses in a general. Potential disaster for employing the army. The army's destruction and the general's death will invariably stem from these 5, so they must be investigated. We have to be upright in our moral code, but we can't be fence riders. We have to be willing to educate and include, but we have to understand when the enemy is incorrigible and cannot be turned. And that's when the hard decisions have to be made. So, I mean, if that's what you're referring to, Jason, I mean, I don't think it's a contradiction. I think it's just, you have to know when the limit is, okay? You have to know when someone is not going to come to the understanding, when they are hell-bent on having the cognitive dissonance. From the last video, there was a section you talked about how we were going at each other and that we fall into the same traps that all the leftists fall into without being upright. I'm saying you have to have a moral code, for sure. There's no doubt that you have to have a moral code, like not dealing with liars, not dealing with traitors, not dealing with people who are not willing to listen to wisdom, for sure. For sure. All right, that was chapter 8. It was just like a page and a half, super short. Let's move on to the configurations of terrain. Sun Tzu said, the major configurations of terrain are accessible, suspended, stalemated, constricted, precipitous, and expansive. If we can go forth and the enemy can also advance, it is termed accessible. In an accessible configuration, first occupy the heights and the yang, and improve the routes for transporting provisions. Then when we engage in battle, it will be advantageous. If we can go forth, but it will be difficult to return, it is termed suspended. In a suspended configuration, they are unprepared to go forth and conquer them. If the enemy is prepared and we sally forth without being victorious, it will be difficult to turn back and is not advantageous. That's where we are right now, patriots. That's where we are. You see, they went all the way. The commies have gone all the fucking way. And we were suspended. We didn't know what to do. We didn't want to step on toes. We didn't want to push back. We complied. We tried to play the, oh, we're all Americans. No, the fuck we're not. No, the fuck we're not. There are American-born people who hate what this country stands for. A, because they're stuck on the past, and B, because they don't see themselves as a part of the opportunity. They don't see the opportunities this country has to provide, or they don't see the opportunities this country provides because they are lazy, because the free mentality, the get everything for free mentality, the welfare mentality, it's too deeply ingrained. For some people, it's generational. And I'm not even just talking about Black people. I'm talking about the Hispanics. I'm talking about the Irish. Like, I've met guys who are Irish and they're like, yo, my whole family is poor as fuck and they like being poor and they don't want to do anything better for themselves. Okay. Steve says, say it, sister. There's such a sinister shit going on. All these possibilities have been played out in algorithms. When you think you have figured it out, they can flip the script to suit their needs. It is not advantageous for us to go forth, nor advantageous for the enemy to come forward. It is termed stalemated, like checkmate. Stalemate and checkmate, I think, kind of means the same thing. Actually, let me look that up. Stalemated. A situation in which further action or progress by opposing or competing parties seems impossible. Well, they're not stalemated. They're coming full force at us. We are stalemated because we don't have leadership. In a stalemated configuration, even though the army tries to entice us with profit, we do not go forth. Withdraw our forces and depart. If we strike them when half the enemy has come forth, it will be advantageous. As for constricted configurations, if we occupy them first, we must fully deploy throughout them in order to await the enemy. If the enemy occupies them first and fully deploys in them, do not follow them in. If they do not fully deploy in them, then follow them in. As for precipitous configurations, if we occupy them, we must hold the heights and yang sides to await the enemy. If the enemy occupies them first, withdraw our forces and depart. Do not follow them. As for expansive configurations, if our strategic power is equal, it will be difficult to provoke them to combat. Engaging in combat will not be advantageous. Now, these 6 are the Tao of terrain. And if you guys don't know what Tao means, let me pull that up. Tao can be roughly thought of as the flow of the universe or as some essence or pattern behind the natural world that keeps the universe balanced. Tao is the natural order of the universe whose character one's tuition must discern to realize the potential for individual wisdom as conceived in the context of East Asian philosophy. Now, these 6 are the Tao of terrain. Any general who undertakes responsibility for command cannot but investigate them. Thus, there are 6 types of ill-fated armies: running off, lax, sinking, crumbling, chaotic, and routed. Now, these 6 are not disasters brought about by heaven and earth, but by the general's errors. Now, if their strategic power is equal, 1 attacks 10, this is called running off. If the troops are strong but the officers are weak, it is termed lax. If the officers are strong but the troops are weak, it is termed sinking. If the higher officers are angry and insubordinate, engaging the enemy themselves out of unrestrained anger while the general does not yet know their capabilities is termed crumbling. So this is where we have issues with people losing their shit off of bad information. Okay, this is why trigger happy people that are on our side and mentally ill people who are on our side and people with anger problems who are on our side need to be disciplined, because these are the ones who are going to run into the fire not knowing what's going on. Okay, these are some of the most dangerous people. You better look around. You better look around and make sure there ain't no snipers nowhere. Okay, you better look around, make sure ain't no snipers on the top of a building before you go jump somebody. You see what I'm saying? You go jump somebody, you're going to get shot, and you're going to get everybody following behind you shot. This is why I'm so hard on people. This is why I implement discipline in my personal life as well as my professional life, and now I'm trying to do it here in politics. You better know what the fuck you're dealing with, because you will get shot. You will, or should I say, you will get got. You will get got if you don't know what's around you, if you don't have good intel, if you're not observant, if you don't understand the Tao, if you don't understand the heaven and earth, if you don't understand the yin and yang, you might go for the wrong person and make everybody look bad. This is why I have a problem with red herrings. This is why I don't listen to Steve Bannon. This is why I tell you, don't fuck with QAnon. This is why I tell you, don't listen to Mike Lindell. Don't listen to him. He's going to have you running in one direction when we need to be in another direction. He's going to have you believe in crazy shit that never comes true. And you're still going to keep buying my pillows because you feel sorry for the guy. I feel sorry for him too. But you can't just come up, you can't just act like you got the answer to everything and have all these people sending you money and following behind you and you don't know shit. If the general is weak and not strict, unenlightened in his instructions and leadership, the officers and troops lack constant duties, and their deployment of troops into formation is askew. It is termed chaotic. If the general, unable to fathom the enemy, which is a big problem on our side, engages a large number with a small number, attacks the strong with the weak, while the army lacks a properly selected vanguard, is termed routed. Now, these 6 are the Tao of defeat. Any general who undertakes responsibility for command cannot but investigate them. Hi, Carl. How are you? Girl, who you giving kisses to? You got a crush on here? Ooh. Or is that for me? Configuration of terrain is an aid to the army. Analyzing the enemy, taking control of victory, estimating ravines and defiles, the distant and near, is the Tao of the superior general. One who knows these and employs them in combat will certainly be victorious. One who does not know these or employ them in combat will certainly be defeated. If the Tao of warfare indicates certain victory, even though the ruler has instructed that combat should be avoided, if you must engage in battle, it is permissible. If the Tao of warfare indicates you will not be victorious, even though the ruler instructs you to engage in battle, not fighting is permissible. Thus, a general who does not advance or to seek fame, nor fail to retreat to avoid being charged with the capital offense of retreating, but seeks only to preserve the people and gain advantage for the ruler, is the state's treasure. When the general regards his troops as young children, they will advance into the deepest valleys with him. When he regards the troops as his beloved children, they will be willing to die with him. If they are well treated but cannot be employed, if they are loved but cannot be commanded, or when in chaos they cannot be governed, they may be compared to arrogant children and cannot be used. Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you, sweetie. Well, does that sound like anyone you know? Thank you. Hi in Fort Lauderdale. Love that city. I think you were in my stream yesterday, right, Pilot? Alan, we're not talking about women in ministry. That's not what we're talking about. And I don't know anything about ministry, so I can't help you with that. Hulan, this is your bedtime story. Yay. But let's read that again. If they are well treated, but cannot, okay. If they are well treated, but cannot be employed, if they are loved, but cannot be commanded, or when in chaos they cannot be governed, they may be compared to arrogant children and cannot be used. I mean, I can think of one influencer right now that can't be governed. I'm not going to say his name, but I've talked about him before. Y'all know who he is. This is a man who does not listen to wisdom of other people. This is a man who does not, who is unable to collaborate with other people. This is a man who seeks fame and vanity. This is a man who is passionate but has no focus. This is a man who treats the fight that we're in as a vanity project and has capitalized on it. He's not capitalizing on it so much anymore because he's lost about 50% of his donations. But this is what happens when times are tough and your true colors come through. People see that, when things were good, you were great. You were great to be around. You had lots of influence. You were fun. You were making an impact. But now that things are hard, this person still has that mentality of me. Brand. That's all they care about this person cares about is their brand. They don't care about collaborating with people. They don't care about action items. It'd be like that. I see people on TikTok and I watch how easily affected they are. And I wonder if they truly, I see how easily affected they are, and it shows their weakness. It shows how soft they are. It concerns me. These are the arrogant children. They are loved, but they cannot be commanded. What did we say? A strong commander, the commander's qualifications here: unconcerned by fame, unconcerned by punishment, places the army first, tranquil, obscure, upright, self-disciplined, clever, inventive, and strict. You see, this is why I was shit testing people on TikTok. I wanted to see how strict everyone's morals are. I wanted to see the level of, I wanted to see what their standards of accountability are for everyone. Because you see, when a conservative gets lied on, they'll all go to bat for this person. But when a conservative lies on another conservative, they don't want to say anything. There is no strictness. There is no discipline amongst the company that they keep. And here's the reason why I don't have a lot of friends, because I am strict in the company that I keep. I didn't used to be, But I think from this point forward, I'm going to be more strict than ever because I can't trust these motherfuckers. If you're just a drunk or a drug addict, you have an anger problem, you won't get counseling, you won't get therapy, you lie all the time, you make shit up in your head, I'm not going to sit back and smile at you anymore. Oh, well, she's my friend, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Queen Mata, this is why I went in on fucking Latin Patriot. This is why I went in on her. She is one of these arrogant children. She is a psychotic, pathological liar who enjoys stirring shit up. People like that you can be on the team, but you can't be on my squad. Because I'm not dealing with people like that anymore. These are the people, if we were on a battlefield, these are the people who are going to get you killed. They're going to get you killed because they are going to be a distraction from the work that needs to be done. They are not trustworthy. They are selfish, arrogant children. Can somebody bounce this cam girl out of my chat, please? Carl, I believe you have a wrench. Can you please take care of that? Thank you. Alex Bones is here. Hello. If I know our troops can attack, but do not know the enemy cannot be attacked, it is only halfway to victory. If I know the enemy can be attacked, but do not realize our troops cannot attack, that is only halfway to victory. So basically, that's referring to if the enemy is ready, but your people aren't ready, and you don't know that they're not ready, you're going to get them killed. That is a setup for defeat. Vice versa. If the enemy is not ready, all right, I'm sorry. It works in vice versa. Just take my word for it. Okay. Knowing that the enemy can be attacked and knowing that our army can effect the attack, but not knowing the terrain is not suitable for combat, this is only halfway to victory. This is why I say loose lips sink ships. This is why I say that. Okay, this is why I use that term. Okay, you need to know where you're at. You need to know who's around you. You need to understand the terrain. I believe that was one of the biggest problems with Alexander the Great, because even though he was able to take a lot of, even though he was able to expand the empire, once he got to, I believe it was Pakistan or India, none of these Greeks knew how to navigate that land. And that's when they got slaughtered. So Michelle, I have not seen you on my show. Welcome. I don't know if you've been here before. I've never seen your name before, but happy you're here. Thank you for being here. Thus, one who truly knows the army will never be deluded when he moves, never be impoverished when initiating an action. Thus it is said, if you know them and know yourself, your victory will not be imperiled. If you know heaven and you know earth, your victory can be complete. So that is the end of chapter 10. And again, you see in every chapter, you see in every single chapter that it is all about knowing the enemy, knowing the environment, knowing the capabilities and the limitations of your own army, and then knowing the timing, knowing the ebb and flow. This is not something people understand in Western society. Hello, everyone on TikTok. Nicholas, hello. Hit them hearts, hit them hearts. Norman, hello. No, I am not married. Ben a cider. I don't remember slapping you in school, but if I did, I am very sorry. I don't know how you know me. You probably don't. Okay. I don't think anyone from school, that any school that I've been to is following me. Tomorrow, let's see, we're at 36 minutes here. Should we go into the 9 terrains? Or do you want to move on, or do you want to, if anyone wants to jump in the chat, Nunya! Nunya, how are you? You want to jump in the chat? I'm trying to save chapter 12 for tomorrow. Chapter 12 is really good, and chapter 13 is really good. Chapter 13 is actually my favorite because I think it's really the most and only effective strategy that we might have, employing spies. Hit them hearts. Fakoli 12, hello, how are you? Thank you for the compliment about my hair. I want to save that for tomorrow. It's so good. That's my favorite chapter. I don't have any reference material to go along with this. About a third of this book is like stuff I don't even understand. I think there was something that I missed from chapter 1 that I can read to you now. Or no, from chapter 3. Okay. Under Sun Pen's direction, the Qi armies, which were advanced into Wei, followed the dictum, "Be deceptive." Pang Chuan arrogantly believed the men of Qi to be cowards who would flee rather than engage the mighty Wei in battle. Therefore, Sun Pen daily reduced the number of cooking fires in the encampment to create a facade of ever-increasing desertion. He also effected a tactical withdrawal to further entice Pang Chuan into the favorable terrain at Meiling, where the Qi commander concealed 10,000 crossbowmen among the hills. Pang Chuan, apparently afraid that he would miss an opportunity to inflict a severe blow on the retreating Qi army, abandoned his heavy forces and supply train and rushed forth with only light units. Arriving at night, the combined Wei forces were ambushed as soon as they penetrated the killing zone. In addition to being decisively defeated by Qi's withering crossbow fire, 100,000 Wei soldiers needlessly perished because of their commander's character flaws and hasty judgment. Oh, hey, Coven, how are you? Happy to see you here tonight. I love that you're here with me. Thereafter, Wei not not only never regained its former power, but also suffered numerous incursions by the now unchecked mighty Qin, which would eventually subjugate all China. In 340 BC, Wei was forced to cede 700 li, that's 700 miles, to the Qin after sustained defeats, and felt compelled to move its capital to Taliang to avoid the incessant danger. Although a strong figure occasionally emerged to effect a temporary resurgence in Wei's strength, its territory continued to shrink until the state, together with the royal house, was finally extinguished in 225 BC. The reason I brought that up is because the art of deception really is the art of war, and we talked about this in another chapter. You know, when you are near, make them think you're far. When you're far, make them think you're near. When you're rested, make them think you're exhausted. When you're exhausted, make them think you're rested. You got it. This is what I love about this book is it's so much about energy and vibration and playing the mental game with your energy. If you haven't already hit the notification bell, hit it now. Just do it now. You know that YouTube does this to me. You know they do. They drop my followers. They unsubscribe people randomly. So just if you're here now, hit the notification bell. Okay. I don't really have much more. Yeah, exactly. It's all reverse psychology. But patriots don't understand that shit, so I'm trying to help. If anyone wants to jump in with any thoughts, please feel free to do so. Tomorrow we are going to wrap up the Art of War series, and we have other books that we're going to go into where we can be more specific. Pacific. If you want to jump in the stream, go ahead and do so. I'm just kind of waiting for tomorrow because that's when we get to the good stuff. Employing spies. That shit I like that shit. I like that shit. And again, this is where the virtue becomes a problem. This is where the virtue becomes a problem. Antifa doesn't have a problem being deceptive. Antifa doesn't have a problem in employing spies. Antifa doesn't have a problem spreading propaganda. Antifa doesn't have a problem recruiting children. But we're so virtuous, we're not going to do that, right? We just think that we can fight the battle with love. Well, love's not working. Yeah, it's happening. I mean, I'm sure it's happening to all the patriot influencers. Is that it? Does anybody else got anything to say? Otherwise, I'm going to go to bed. Or I'll just hang out on TikTok. No. I got another stream to do on my Instagram. So last call. If you're not following me on Instagram, I am at RedPillTV1. TikTok at RedPillTV. Hey, Mr. Braiding, how are you? Long time no see. I'm happy you're here. You can be deceptive without lying. God knows we're sinners. I don't mind sinning to get my country back. I'm about to wrap it up. I just finished chapter 9 and chapter 11 in the Art of War. And then tomorrow we are going to do chapter 12 and 13, which are my favorite chapters. So we're going to wrap it up tomorrow. and then we'll move on to other books at another time. But I'm happy you're here now. I'm going to jump on live on Instagram, so if you want to go watch me over there, please. I know, Nunya, you can always contact me by email. Email is fine. Email's fine. I know I sound a little discombobulated tonight. I apologize for that. I got a lot that I'm thinking about, and I'm not doing self-care as much as I should. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself, but I'm just having a lot of fun too. Like, I'm going to a jam tomorrow night, and then maybe I'm going to see a famous, semi-famous commentator. You guys might have seen him on Newsmax. He's a regular on Newsmax. So if I can get together with him and maybe go have some lunch or whatever, that'd be really cool. But yeah, I'm thinking about, my mind is going like a million miles a minute. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm not smoking pot anymore. So I'm not able to quiet my mind. So like my words can be saying something and I'm still thinking about something else. Like it's really, really hard. I have no focus anymore. Like none. Marijuana was the thing that kept me at peace. And now that I'm not smoking anymore, there are days where not so much the anxiety, but just like I guess, the mental gymnastics are really a lot for me. And today is one of those days. But thanks for bearing with me. I know this was not these were not the most exciting chapters, but tomorrow they're going to be very exciting. Braiding, Mr. Braiding, if you want to jump over, jump over. Deceptive liars, saving a country is normal for some of us. Spies are necessary. George Washington used them, and we use them against Nazis. Absolutely. 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 And I can't wait for you to come in, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. You know what, Coven? It would be really nice if you jump in the stream and you don't have to show your face. You could just, there's an option to do no cam, and you can just do audio only. After we read these chapters, I would absolutely love it if you could say a couple things and just give us some examples that you're aware of. So I'm inviting you to be my guest tomorrow night. I hope you take me up on it. I really do. I think this will be right up your alley. All right. So think about it, and I'll be back tomorrow.